Once upon a time, there is this beautiful young girl who wanted to grow up, and she wanted to be a wife and a mother. Well, she grew up and she got married, but that husband was so abusive physically and mentally, and he would berate her constantly. And she would try so hard to please the husband. Oh, she tried ever so hard, ever so hard. Then something miraculous happened. That abusive husband died. So she was like, oh, thank goodness. Okay. So she was much more careful next time if should the next one come along for her to marry. Well, someone did come along, and he was so kind. His love for her was unconditional, and she felt no condemnation. So she decided to marry him. But what her husband did not know was that in all actuality, her first husband that had died, she never buried him. She took him to this specialized taxidermist and had him stuffed as a taxidermy. And she hid her ex-husband up in the attic, and she would ever so often go up to visit this husband who's now dead, but who was so nasty to her. Well, eventually her husband found out about it, and he said, how can you truly enjoy the freedom you have with me when you're still, in essence, chained to this ex-husband who was dead, but who also treated you so badly? How can you possibly have your full freedom in me with your new husband? So finally she realized that she had to let go of the ex-husband that was dead. And so she finally found a spot, buried him. And she never went back there again. She never visited him again. And after she did that, she truly had a most wonderful marriage with this new man. I mean, she was loved like she never even thought was possible. And they lived happily ever after. All right, that was a funny story, cute story. The ex-husband, who was so cruel to her, represents the law, okay? So when Jesus was on the cross being crucified, the law was crucified. The law was put to death, and humanity was put to death on that cross. So with our new husband, Jesus, if we're still attached to that law that is dead, we will never fully be able to rest in Christ and enjoy the victory that he has already accomplished for us. It is finished. But once you have the revelation that the law has been crucified, that your flesh has been crucified, that all self-effort has been crucified, and that Jesus doesn't expect anything from humanity anymore, then she's realized that she needed to reckon her flesh dead, that she needed to reckon the law really dead and crucified, and that the law has no voice anymore. And so once she had that revealed to her, she realized the true simplicity that really was the gospel. And she was able to rest in and within her new husband, Jesus. And then through her resting in him, he loved her in ways she thought not possible. And that love flowed out to other people because it was his love, not her love. And the ability to produce fruit, it just started happening effortlessly because she was enjoying resting in the presence of the Lord, continually abiding so that Jesus could do the work through her. She walked away from the thought of you've got to try to please God in your own effort. She repented. She changed her mind from that way of thinking and now can truly rest in Jesus. And now she and her husband Jesus really, truly are going to live happily ever after. Amen.